There we go. Thank you. I was talking to myself. Awesome. What's that? Whew. Not much, man. Came back from work and been a little bit with my wife and kid, and yeah, having a workshop tomorrow at work. We're planning new OKRs for this quarter. So yeah, I basically past 3 days just been talking to various people at work, gathering feedback, writing stuff into this thing called Obsidian. Oh my God, Totem is here. What? Good evening, buddy. Good to see you, man. I haven't seen you in such a long time. How is life, man? How are you? Always so happy to see some of these fellas that used to hang out here a lot. How is life, man? How are you? Oh wow. Okay, I already have it installed here. Okay, Okay, cool. I didn't even realize that I installed this already here. Give me 2 seconds. Open other vault settings. Oh shit, man! I'm sad to hear that. Just tell me that it's not a health thing. I hope it's not, because everything other than health is irrelevant, I guess. I'm good, man. I'm not much different than when you were. Okay, good. Everything else is will sort itself out as long as it's not health. Health is a messed up thing, yeah. Not much, man. I've been yeah, streaming on and off. I stream for some time, then I don't stream for some time, depending on how I also have it in life, right? Sometimes I just I feel lately like streaming. I have it's a lot of fun, but then sometimes there are days or weeks when I just don't feel like doing it, right? So it's kind of yeah. And apart from that, just work and yeah. I'm more or less the family, kid, wife, and all of that. Standard stuff, right? I'm working with React as my new job. First task, remove Fastify Tailwind. Wow, what the hell? Why would you do that? Why would you remove Fastify and Tailwind then? Okay, Next.js, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that, so that I would personally remove if I had it myself, but everything else seems a little bit scary. Yeah. The little guy is great. I just played with him a little bit now, and yeah, it's great. It's great. Yeah, that's kind of what it is. Yeah, sums it up basically. Sums it up. Well, yeah, well, good evening to everybody else as well. Let's see, the stream is starting now, so let's see what we're going to be hacking on today. And I think somebody else, well, 25 gold, and Nick, good evening, buddies. Thank you for coming. No, I mean, look, Programming Network at one point, if I need server-side rendering, I'll probably also do very similar to what you're trying to do. I'm gonna use server components, right? So I kind of get that, right? But it's a strange technical decision indeed, because yeah, it's the hardest thing that the developers do, also CTOs, tech leads, team leads, is that you make these very overly confident decisions that, all right, well, there's this server-side rendering framework out there, but screw that, we're going to build our own, it's going to be better, right? I mean, can it be better in some sense? Sure, but it's a huge bet. And maintaining your own kind of thing like that, it's tough. You guys will see. Time will tell, right? Maybe in half a year, you're going to be like, hell yeah, this was the best decision ever. But then maybe it's gonna be like, what the hell did we do? Why did we shoot ourselves into the foot, right? So you'll know when you get there. All right. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm just gonna skim through, and I haven't streamed yesterday. I had a long day at work, so I'm gonna go actually what it is that I want to do now. What I want to do today in this stream, right? What's happening? Wait a minute, what the hell? Oh, did I unplug my own keyboard? I did, it seems. Okay. Okay, cool. So let me just go to production very quickly. And let me actually pin Programmer Network. My best man, I love you, man. Good evening. Let me just, how do I pin? I always forget. Oh, I pin it like this, right? Yeah, exactly. Cool. Tiago, okay. Alberto. Log in. All right. So today we're gonna obviously, well, do some work and fix some things and improve them. We have a lot of awesome projects for the stream coming on. Noster and ActivityPub. These things we will need to extensively research these protocols. I never worked with them. I actually found one very interesting discussion on Hacker News about Noster, and I need to read all of this. Actually, in fact, let me just try to do one thing. Actually, I just Craxy on YouTube. Good evening. I'm just gonna try actually one thing. Can you summarize this for me, as I'm planning to use Noster protocol as a chat protocol for our programmer.network? Give me 1 second. I just want to see a little bit. Jean-Code Van Debug. Let's see if it's actually going to read the Hacker News article. Okay. Wow, what a useless. Can you actually, you know, parse it all and write the most important points? Register with email not working. It should be working. You should get an email notification. You have to confirm. I mean, the thing is, I really would want. I could really use you know, end-to-end tests for that. So it's very hard. GRGO or George, I guess. Let me see API logs. Yeah, I don't see any errors in the API. So you most likely need to confirm your email. It should be working. Wow, what a useless. What a useless response. Jesus Christ. Okay. All right, never mind. But yeah. All right, cool. So I'm gonna create. Let's see what I want to do today. Okay, so I'll just write some tiny list here for the front end and the API, and then we're gonna start coding a little bit. Yeah, Totem. It's still my own kind of the thing that I created. Jean-Code Van Debug. Exactly. But actually, it's good that your fellas are gonna do. You cannot click on it. Wait, let me check. It could be an easily login. Okay, well, perfect. Let's fix that right now and push it. Awesome. Give me like 2 minutes and we're gonna fix it. Because recently I did a huge, I basically open sourced the front repository, right? Click on register, replay to comment. Oh, I see what's happening. Awesome. Thank you actually for reporting that. Let's fix that. It should take us a minute, right? So let's just say here critical. Because that's actually good. It seems to be related to some other thing. Okay, so let's fix that, because this is me just replacing things recently, 100%. Oh yeah, okay, I see. I already know what the problem is. Shit, I already know. Because, you know, just for the record, right? I recently open sourced Yale. This is essentially Programmer Network's UI library. I wrote my own library, right? I'm not using any third party. And then I can see I already know what the problem is. So let's go ahead and fix that together. I'll also share a link here with you in case you guys want to give it a star or whatever. Be my guest. Okay, let's fix that. Basically, what's happening is that my typography isn't taking on click handler anymore. I actually, because we did this a couple of days ago. So I'm gonna very quickly fix the paragraph, and then you can see, yeah, this is the problem, right? Jesus Christ. Okay, that's a little bit weird, right? So and what should this be? This should be HTML paragraph element, right? Or something like mouse event HTML paragraph element. Is this correct to say? So let's just fix this quickly, and I'm gonna on click. Yeah, I mean, look, it all depends on the team, right? Because this is, you don't have to do things which are implicit, right? Because this thing is gonna know what a return type is, right? But basically, what your teammates want to do, right? They're like, well, hey, dude, you have to explicitly set React element, and that's fine. I don't mind that, but I don't think that it matters, right? That it's important at all, right? So if they want it, just go with it. It adds nothing special, right? So, but if they want it, just do it. That's what it is, right? All right, let's just fix this fully for everything, right? Yeah, I'm with you. But I'm not gonna do that because this is rather my preference. This is rather my preference. All right, so I'm just gonna add this missing on click to every single thing, right? Because shit, that's actually not correct. What we just did, is it? So this should be HTML h1, or how is it? HTML heading? No, h1 element. Is there a such type? I don't remember. Can I just say mouse event? Is this a generic? Yeah, this seems fine, right? Yeah. There's no difference. It's just a matter of style, right? You know, fundamentally, right? You have joined a new team, and I'm sure you know these things. I'm not trying to be a smartass here, right? You have joined a new team, and that team has agreed on some standards. And what can you do? Well, and what should you do? Well, you should stick to the standards that they agreed on, and that's it, right? You join some sort of a group of people. They have their own preferences now, and that's it, right? It's not a thing that you want to. It's not a hill, as they say. It's not a hill to die on, right? So if they want that, just say screw it. I don't care. I mean, my job is a little bit different now, right? I mean, I'm a tech lead, and I'm probably gonna, hopefully, in the next company, if it's not my own, I'm gonna head for a CTO or something like that, right? So these details, to me, I don't genuinely care 1% about them, right? I mean, these types of things, are you gonna use that or that type of thing? They're absolutely relevant. For me, I'm obsessed by value and OKRs, and so these are the hills that I would now die on, right? Are you gonna use a functional component, or Yeah, for sure. That's my goal. That's it's no secret, right? Next company for sure. So my goals right now are like, oh, are we gonna use this or that? I don't care much, right? Like, if you took this thing now and wrote it as a class component, as we did 2-3 years ago, I would also say I don't care, right? Because it doesn't really matter, right? Why does it not matter? Well, because in 2 years somebody's gonna rewrite this crap anyway, and that same code that you guys are writing, right? Somebody's gonna come and say, ooh, What is this crap? Who wrote this code? Why didn't they use why didn't they use this this thing instead of this, right? So these things are evolving infinitely, right? And they have very little impact on anything other than, you know, a bunch of us nerdy, sweaty dwellers, basement dwellers, you know, just geeking on things. But fundamentally, really, it plays no difference. Like you said, Totem, why use FC and all this? Is like, that plays no role, right? It's just, as long as there's some standard in the team, that's really all that matters, right? And if the developers in the team are happy, then CTO is happy, tech lead is happy, so it's really I mean, don't take me wrong, I care very much about code quality, and I hope that that's clear from, if you look at my repositories, now the open source ones, they're all tested, and I think the code is really good, but still, that code being good doesn't mean much if the product you're building is used by nobody, right? So you have, it's always kind of, right, it's like, yeah, that's, wow, your code is good, cool, man, but nobody's using it, right? And you know, so that's always, you know, is anybody using stuff you're building, right? If not, then, well, what a waste of code. Totem, man, I love you, dude. Thank you so much for coming. I respect that a lot. Seriously. I mean, the fact that you even remembered me is really cool, man. So please, whenever you have the time, yeah, just pass by, and just as I do, whenever I have the time, I literally just stream so I can meet people like you and have a chat. So thank you, man. I appreciate that very much. Let me just run these tests to see if we have to update something. Yeah, actually we didn't test these headings because these are pure components, so testing this is meaningless. It's useless, right? Because there's no side effects, there's nothing in here really that can go wrong. Okay, so I guess yeah, let's just go to one of these stories. Let's go to a paragraph, and let me just go here, and let's say on click action. Store, my friend, good evening, how are you doing? All right, beautiful. So let me just so yeah, this was a good one to fix, because yeah, I actually completely didn't realize that we broke so many links, so many click handlers in the app. That's quite scary. So if I go to paragraph now, and we yeah, come on, man. What? Oh, it's because of the action thing, right? Yeah, okay. It doesn't really matter, right? Let's just do this. Yeah, okay, so the handler is there. Great, okay, well, that was a good thing. Whoever reported it, thank you very much. It's a good way to start the stream, just fixing this crap, right? Okay. So yeah, package JSON. Yeah. Add missing on click to typography components, right? Beautiful. Okay. Oh shit, man. That's not a start. That's not a great start of the day, is it? That's not a great start, but it's fun, right? That thing is sometimes the most valuable experience, is when stuff like that happens, right? All right, so this is pushed. Give me 1 second. Let me just go to where is it? Yale, right? Yes. I just, being a hardcore metalhead, I just don't feel like headbanging right now. It's been a long week, so let's just listen to some of this indie bands, some chill indie bands. All right, so that should be fine now, and that should fix whatever was reported. So yeah, so I think this reply also stuff that I had, that was also caused by exactly the same thing. So I believe that 82, okay. I'm just gonna go to package.json here, and I'm just gonna say 82 very quickly, and then wait for this thing to actually, yeah, cool. Because I can see that here, right? And probably if I search for reply, yeah, so this is why it was broken, because this on click wasn't actually doing anything, right? All right, cool. So this should now get deployed. We'll install that and deploy and fix these things, right? That's great. All right, cool. So I think, yeah, let's mark this as done, and let's see what we're gonna do today. Shit. All right, so these two I think will be fixed automatically now once we install and deploy. I'm waiting for this to get published to npm. Well, the thing is that all depends, yo-yo, on how pragmatic the CTO is and how pragmatic the company is, right? I think that my personal opinion, actually, in fact, about that is quite the opposite now. I think that the thing is, let me just put it this way: building products is not hard, but it's becoming increasingly easier with AI, with ChatGPTs, with Bard, with so I think that that's going to actually be happening less and not more, right? Because the market is becoming so competitive, everybody is building products, right? That you will simply not, you will not be able to afford that type of stuff anymore, right? Because rewriting the software just because something is newer is very irresponsible, right? Incredibly irresponsible. But and of course depends how you build your software, right? So you know, it's more yeah, yeah, but to some degree I agree, depending at what stage the company is, right? All right, so let's check this now and then push this to production. I think at this point this should now work. Yeah, exactly. No, that's exactly what I'm gonna, George. That's exactly what we're gonna fix now. Yeah, there we go. So let me deploy this and then wait 2 minutes, and then you should be able to. So the stuff that you reported should be working now. Fix regression with on-click handlers on typography. Actually, no, never mind. Chica, my friend, good evening. All right, cool. So let's deploy this, or let's push it and then wait for... Cool, okay, so I think that's gonna be fixed almost, well, most certainly it will, so let's mark that as done. So I wonder what else do we want to do today? Well, we just started actually, so... I'll just do some very, very simple things until we figure out what I want to do more. But I can see here that yeah, we are in this process, and then I think in maybe 2 streams we're going to start implementing Noster and ActivityPub, these protocols. So I'm actually yeah, I'm actually looking forward to that very much. Just to learn something new, actually, because I've never used these protocols. And you know, everybody, all developers, all nerds are talking about decentralized. Let's build decentralized internet, but nobody's actually putting some effort. So I actually think it's going to be pretty cool if we can be the ones also who join this movement, right, and try to implement some of these decentralized protocols, even though there's a lot of unknowns. I read this Hacker News article. I'm still actually reading the discussion, and there's a lot of there's a lot of concerns in relation to some of these things, because apparently, like, no matter which protocols you use, you are always responsible for certain content that you are supposed to remove by law as the owner of the platform. So in simple words, your government doesn't give a crap which protocol you're using. If there's some, let's say some dude uses this chat that we built for pornography, right, or for criminal activity, it's your responsibility to remove it and not anyone else's, right? So you can be like, so there's a lot of crazy laws about that, quite scary stuff actually. All right, so all right, never mind. I wanted to do something. By the way, George, I think this thing at this point should be actually released. Let me take a look at that. I mean, look, let me just be frank with you, Chica. I haven't used any of these decentralized protocol in my career yet, right? So I would lie if I would give you an answer to that. I did read a little bit about it because at one point in time, my brother from the US, he's a mechanical engineer. He wanted us to build our own kind of cryptocurrency, right? So at that point, I read a little bit about. He literally wanted us to build something called what was the name? We even bought a domain name at one point. He wanted me to build another cryptocurrency with him called I don't remember, and that's when I read about Solidity and stuff like that. Shavapi coin. You can buy only one type of goods with this coin. Only one type of goods. All right, cool. So let's yeah, okay, good. So we fixed that tiny things. Sheesh token maybe. Yeah. That would be great. So there's some tiny things, right? There's some tiny things that I think could use fixing, obviously. Like I can see that I can't click on this comment. So yeah, so that type of stuff that we can start today with, and then yeah, author card. Or we could kind of also take a look at Noster and some of this stuff, but. Yeah, that feels a little bit weird, right? You would expect that if you click on this comment, right, that it takes you somewhere, right? So I think it should, right? I mean, I guess somebody would want to click there, right? And you would expect that if you do so, at least that's how it works in other platforms, right? Oops. Wow, what a component. Jesus Christ, man. That's crazy. Comment section, comment, reactions. There we go. Okay, cool. I guess that's what I wanted, right? And actually, I can see here that just as well. I mean, it doesn't really matter, right? But I can see, of course, I can't like my own stuff. So the question is, yeah, I mean, these types of things, right? I shouldn't even be able to click on, right? So tiny things. Is this relevant? No, I mean, but yeah, I mean, it's just likes count on dislike on like, yeah. I thought that when I wrote this, wait, is loading this likes count, has dislike, likes count, blah, blah, shared. Yeah, so I actually haven't implemented that state at all, right? So it's okay. But yeah, now you can do that. Okay. All right, cool. All right, cool. Come on. Cool. All right. So actually, let's take a look at one thing. I'm going to go to my database. I'm going to go to my user. I'm actually going to just get myself in a state where my profile isn't complete, right? What to do extension is that I think it's go to do plus. Give me a second. Been using this for a very, 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 very long time. It's called to do plus. Let me share it with you. There you go, Nick. All right, cool. Yeah, okay. So, OX, good evening, buddy. My pleasure, man. My pleasure. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely, man. I'll just normalize some of this stuff a little bit, right? Yeah, that actually looks really bad. Okay. Nice, man. Where did you find that? That's pretty awesome. Nice, dude. That's very nice, man. Well done. Well done. How do? Let me just, I'm just improving this as part of the, iPhone. I don't need the code, just the copy. Personal profiles, you can share your thoughts, experience, write articles. Yeah, I just needed basically to vibrant, where you can explore. Stop with hyperbolis and generic sounding crap. Jesus Christ, man. The biggest problem when you use ChatGPT for copy is that it sounds the same always. Yeah, just keep it freaking simple, man. Exactly, I like this. Social platform for developers to share, learn, and connect. Yes. Features. Yeah, sure. That's better, I think. Yeah, that's better, I think. Create your profile. Oh shit, okay. That's strange. The main input. I was using the main input still from the... Okay. Yeah, that also sucks. Why do we have that capitalized? The main input. Yeah, we do have it capitalized, right? Uppercase. Uppercase. Where is the uppercase crap, man? Ring outline. How did I write this? Transparent. Give me 1 second. Uppercase. Where do I have the uppercase? Yeah, the main input. Here it is. Let me just test that out. 1 second. Yeah. All right, cool. I thought that at one point I got rid of all of the uppercase crap, and I think I had. Let me just see where was this one, because apparently somewhere on the error page is this. What is this? Components? Yeah, error. Yeah, error stories. Where is this? Okay, yeah, it is this one. So somewhere here I had this uppercase thing, and I think I've removed it now, most likely. Let me see. Basic error. Text center error text. Let's update that. Yeah, most likely somewhere around here I had it. Okay, cool. Leo, my friend, good evening. Good to see you. Alright, I'll just, yeah, these are kind of the tiny little things that, that they don't actually matter, but they do matter. It's all about snapshots, that src snapshot, yeah. Remove uppercase from error and the main in. You were sleeping, yeah, I guess you got tired, man. Seaplane, good evening. Yeah, that to-do thing is very useful, man. Of course, you would not use that but you can use it when building your own projects. It can almost fully kind of cover the use cases, right? All right, so that's great. Okay, so let's close this. Let's close that, and let's close that. So that's good, because I don't like that. Okay. Good evening to you, man, as well. How you doing? Exactly, Nick. Exactly. But considering, you know, it's you know, considering it's inside of the editor, it's useful. Well, next time you're here, next time you're here, you know what to do. Yeah, Copenhagen is amazing, man. I love this city so much. I mean, I bike to work every day, and every day I can't get enough of it. It's beautiful. Yeah, dude, it's incredible. It's incredible. You bought a second monitor. Well, I guess I should say congrats, shouldn't I? What happened here? Wow. Yeah, actually share it with us, Leo. Share it with us, indeed. The fuck is happening here? Let me actually see what icons do I have. I don't actually remember. Where is the icons? Where are icons that we have? Yeah, let's take a look at them. Continue instead of proceed. Thank you very much. Agreed. That's why I'm building this platform aligned, because you guys are oftentimes a lot smarter than I am. Thank you. Agreed. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Amazing. Thank you. Thanks. Hewick, good evening, buddy. I'm sorry, I just need to now, like, we are in a process of just that's what it is. That's what we're doing. I just need to do this properly for we did a lot of changes. I need to make sure that, yeah. And that's kind of sucks, right? Because when we implemented a couple of days ago, when I did the typography and stuff, I didn't really... What should we do with typography? If I go to my Yale, right, this is my typography, I wonder what sizes of these headings, for example, should we have on mobile? Should they all be the same size on mobile? That's the question, right? Because clearly this is too big on mobile, right? We don't want this. Generally, we could say text LG, right? Like something like this, or text XL. I don't actually know. It's so weird, right? It's weird to kind of I don't actually know. It's so hard. Should they all be like X2? Should headings all be the same size on mobile, right? It's so weird. Because this, right, is kind of, yeah, this is too much, right? You would probably agree with me that this is too big, right? I don't know, Nick. We can check. I think I have no idea. I don't remember. I don't remember. I don't intend to stare this long, right? It's just, it would be nice to systematically solve this. I don't have to manually do this, right? It's like crap. Okay, give me a second. Let's think about it. Let's ask ChatGPT, right? Let's ask. Let me just close a bunch of this crap, right? Yeah, let's ask ChatGPT, right? I don't know how a designer would do this. It's actually strange that I don't know it. It's a little bit embarrassing, but that's what it is. Jean-Code van debug my own LLM. Let's try. this is my my h1 component from my core library. I have corresponding components all the way up to h6. As you may notice, there's no mobile size values, and I wonder how would one go about setting some smaller heading sizes for mobile. Should I make sure that all headings are the same size on mobile screen? Let's see. I don't actually know, to be honest. I don't know. I don't know. It's hard. Let's see what. Yeah, but that's not the question, man. Yeah, so obviously, right, because each one of my components is using. Yeah, it's actually very slow today. Yeah, so we could, for mobile, right, just say here, hey, on mobile, you know. All right, give me 1 second. All right, cool. Okay, so let's do that. Let's try something. I have an idea. So let's do twice less size. So here we're gonna say MD is 4 and text 2XL on mobile, right? Let's start there and we'll see. It's difficult, right? Because yeah. Then what should be 3XL be? Jesus Christ. So 3XL should be, well, can I do? Why there's no /2? There's only /3. That's weird. Why can't I do like text 3XL/2? Is that seriously inaccurate? Let's go there. Let's go. Which one is this? This is H2, right? Yeah. So let's go to. So this is. Wait a minute. This is H2, right? Yeah. Let's go to mobile. Come on, man. Jesus Christ, what is happening? Oh man, I'm looking at the Jesus Christ, Alex, come on. So it does /2 does in fact work, and it gives us the size of it gives us the size of Let's go to computed properties here. Font size 16 pixels. Is that accurate? Let's figure it out. 3XL is 30 pixels, so it's not really accurate, is it? So yeah, so because so we didn't really apply that. If I do /3, let's see now. So that also doesn't work. What? So I don't think that's possible. I thought that we can do things like that, right? But I don't think we can. No. Okay. Can I do something like this in Tailwind? Like calc 3XL underscore by 2. Is this possible? No, I can't. Okay. Fuck. I don't like that though. Then wait. Is it possible in Tailwind CSS to somehow divide the size? Example text 3XL by 2. All right, never mind. It's just an idea. It was just an idea because if we follow that H1 on mobile is 2 times smaller than on desktop, right? So on desktop is 36. Here is actually it's not 2 times smaller. It's how much? So it's 36, 24. So it's 12 pixels smaller, right? 12 pixels smaller. Okay. And this one is 30, so this one technically should be 18, right? So what if I say text LG, what is that? Yeah, okay, I see. So LG is twice less than this, right? Well, it's not twice less, but yeah, 12 pixels, okay. What about this asshole? 2XL, 24. So what would this then be? This is MD, and then this should be text what, like SM, that's 14, this is 24. 3XL 30, 18, so 12 difference, right? So this one should be 12 difference as well, right? So this is 24, so technically this should be, this should be XS, I guess, right? Yeah. Fuck. But is this what we want is the question. Let's go to the... This is H2, right? Yeah. If I go to mobile, what is the size of this crap? $18. Okay, so that's, I guess, accurate. Yeah. Yeah. And then I guess we can leave the rest to be the same size on mobile. So this is H2. We did the H3, right? Yeah, and then H4 is... Yeah, I'll just leave it. Let me just see if I have to update the tests. I don't think that I've tested these things because they're ultimately incredibly simple. Actually, we did test something. Okay, great. So I'll just push this. Fuck it. just deploy this to npm make typography responsive, right? Actually, let's try the AI feature here in VS Code. Let's see what VS Code is going to generate. Update package version and adjust heading sizes. Okay, great. That's a useful thing for sure. Push a new tag. Nice. Okay, cool. So basically, if I close some of that stuff now, that thing should self-fix. So I guess we don't need this. We also don't need this. We actually don't need any of the classes here now. What is programmer network? So let's go back here. Hey, welcome to programmer network. Continue. What is programmer network? Social platform for those share, learn. Create a profile. So 100% zoomed. Okay, let's see. Create a profile. Let me actually just go back here. Yale. I see. Okay, so we need to wait for our. I need to wait for my GitHub to deploy this crap, right? Yale, yeah. All right, we'll wait for that for a second. It's okay. Finalize sign up. Okay, so going back here again, right? Because I also want us to deploy this progressive web app on Android Store soon as well. So I think, and also, but didn't we? Give me a sec. I swear I thought that didn't we push? Huh. Give me one sec. Okay. Okay, never mind. So we did. So something feels weird, but let me just actually take a look at this tag. What did I push? What did I deploy as part of this? Because didn't we like remove this? Oh shit! Wait. Yeah, I thought that we updated this thing, right? Because why is it still uppercase? Okay, let's see. Let's wait for this to get pushed to npm. Where is it? Yale actions. Is it deployed? It is. So the tag is 83. Let me see here. What did I push previously? 65 releases. Oh, okay, so it's part of this one, so it's 2 commits. Okay, I thought that I released it, but I didn't. Okay, that's very good. Very good. Okay, no worries. All good. Where's Yale? Did I update the version here? Yeah, I did. Okay. Great, great, great. All good, all good. False alarm. Cool. Exactly. You can see now that we have some of that responsiveness working. That's awesome. I'll create your profile. All right, let's just adjust that a little bit more, and we should be good. Class name MB0. Yeah, exactly. I'm looking at that as well. This features is the problem, right? Let's use h2 here instead, right? Exactly, right? Like this, right? It's not disgusting, right? Well, actually, yeah. Huh. Right? Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. Just, is the distance too much is the question. I don't know. We should not die on top of this hill, right? But it's okay. And where is this create your profile? Create your profile. Yeah, okay, so where is this? Yeah, okay, so let's do one thing here. So this is the smallest possible size, right? So let's go to some of these bigger phones, max. Okay. So seems acceptable, right? And let's just say here this is yeah. And then MD PB0, right? Because on desktop we don't really want this, right? So if we go back here, we go here, hey, welcome to Programmer Network, continue, features. It is, but we need to improve that. Okay, so and this is also what I think we fucked up when it comes to, yeah. Let's go to Louis GUI as well. Okay, because this is awesome, and this is exactly how I envisioned this process to be. It doesn't work. Let's take a look at that in a second. This is awesome. So let's, because I can see that this thing, right? We need to. I've seen this little issue as well. Because we don't need this px4 anymore, I think. That one messes things up. And then, yeah. So let me just go back here and where was this? px4, right? Yeah, exactly, right? Dev. So if you go to let's go. So right. So if you write an article, right? By default, it's going to be a draft, right? So you're not going to publish it to everybody else. But once you have an article, right? You can edit. You can go to your dashboard, right? Here in the top, content settings, articles, and then you have to just uncheck this thing, right? That says draft, and then update. I tried to create a post and I clicked on save as draft and it disappears. How can I post this? The bug. Okay. Wait a minute. Do I have this integrated software engine? I guess this is a draft, right? Yeah. Wait. It disappears. That's strange. I don't see that behavior though, right? When I save it myself, I can see that it says article updated and it stays here. Let me. I'm gonna wait to see to hear what you're gonna say. Give me 1 second. Literally clicking on it in a moment. Yeah, article is not found because it's a draft. Yeah, that is the correct behavior, right? Because you saved it as a draft. You didn't. You need to toggle that. You need to untoggle that, right? Ralph Gomez. Good evening, buddy. Shit, man. My pleasure, man. It's if it's confusing, please let me know, because I personally think, I thought at least when we implemented that it's clear, right? But if it's not clear, if you're saying, hey Alex, actually that's not clear at all, it's fair enough. I mean, it's very important to get the feedback, right? So if because the thing is, actually community asked for that. I remember very long ago, community said, hey, sometimes I'm going to start writing an article, I'm not going to publish it immediately, and that's true. It takes a couple of days sometimes to write a good article, right? So by default, when you click save, you just want to save so you don't lose the work, right? Imagine that every time you click save, you publish it, right? So that is at least the reasoning behind it, right? All right, cool. So that's also fixed. We'll npm install soon. Cool. Okay. Should be at least 3 characters long. Let me just think. Let me write that feedback. Let's actually put that in here. HNL, thank you, buddy. We need to consider it. Absolutely, I think it's a great suggestion. All right, cool. Yeah, this is actually a little bit weird. Yeah, there should be some distance there, but yeah, whatever. Okay, so that's good now. We have actually fixed that now. Give me a second. Yeah, the thing is, for example, and that is kind of ironic a little bit, right? So the current behavior is also was suggested by people on the chat, right? So it's very difficult. I'm absolutely with you, right? But a lot of these things are very often relative. That is why, UX and UI is so difficult, right? It's because a lot of these things are good or bad depending on the persona, right? Who you ask. Because, right, we can change that now into 2 and say, well, why do I need to click save, right? So it's kind of, it's very difficult to find. You can just hope. Don't you think better to change the label share to comment to create comments in the article? It's confusing because below written is a... Wow, what? Didn't I just install this? What the fuck? Let me actually go to production. Yeah, so actually it's fine here. So I wonder, oh man, don't tell me that the main input error. Yeah, I did remove it from here. So it's so weird. So why is it not? I'm sure that we removed that, right? I actually did that already, Leo. I think should be pushed. Let's actually push some of these state changes already. I did that already this stream, actually, for sure, man. I'm with you. Let's just push this already. I mean, yeah, I'm now kind of trying to narrow these things down, and you know, we are now in this yeah, what is it? What would we call it? Tech debt mode, right? So is it super fun? Sometimes no, but that's what it is, man. Let's see how it is. So how smart is it gonna be now? Okay, wow, that's actually quite good. So let's push this to production while we're working. All right, cool. So let's while we're at this mobile thing, right? Anyway, so let's keep on kind of looking a bit here and there, because I know that a lot of crap got fucked up and stuff with the, you know, when we went to Yale and stuff like that, right? Okay, so let's imagine that for now, we're happy with this. So let me go to a database and give myself a username again. So we're no longer in that state, right? And let's take a look at that thing that Leo just said, right? It's like, hey, Alex, that button doesn't work. I think it does actually work, but let's see. Yeah, this join button, right? So yeah, it does work, but I think once it takes you, yeah, so let's take a look at that. First of all, it's not very good. And second, yeah, we can make the, well, it's not bad either, but it's not good. So what is it then? I don't know. Mobile join bar. Okay, that's how it's called. Mobile join bar. Oh, okay, I see why. Because it's, you know, no, I get it. I see. I remember when, no, I know, I can see why. Because I think, I remember when, who implemented this? It wasn't me. This was, if you remember, this was Kirill. You have to click on the text, right? So clicking on the button doesn't work. So you're actually right. It's a tiny thing, but a big thing. Yeah, you're absolutely right. There we go. Let's try to use the button component as well. Let's see if... Okay, never mind. Are you using Next.js? No, I'm not. No. Just bear with me. I just need to kind of maybe make this a little bit better, or a lot better actually, in fact. Let's see what the hell is happening here. shadow uppercase. Here he is. Here is my favorite troll. Here's my favorite troll. Unacceptable that you haven't been part of my stream in such a long time, man. I'm so hurt right now. So unacceptable. So unacceptable. This guy who just called me a genius. He is one of my very old viewers, but yeah, as you can see, he hasn't been here for a while. So Virtual Dev, there's some open source things, and let me put it this way: there were maybe 2 or 3 people who did in fact try to help back then. I gave them all the access. They signed some sort of a contributor agreement with me, blah blah blah, but they haven't really done much, right? So, as I always said, I'm always looking for someone to join this project, but not like that, right? So if you want to if you truly want to help, like a great place to start, for example, is this, right? And let me elaborate why, right? Because a lot of people think that they want to do something, right? A lot of people find this project cool, and a lot of people find this project boring, and a lot of people find this project shitty. But either way, no matter how they feel about it, when you actually get the access and when you need to do the work, a lot of people just realize that they either can't do it because they don't know how, or they realize, well, actually this requires an actual work, right? So absolutely, I mean, if you want to help, or simple words, I cannot give you access to the whole product just like that, right? I would have to get to know you, who you are, what your intentions are, right? Because I've spent past year, this is a relatively complex project where I did everything from front and back end, infrastructure, design, documentation, everything, right? So I cannot just, of course, give you access to the whole code base and say, hey, there you go, right? So these 2 people that I did give access to back then, you know, they earned my, I hate to use word earned my trust because that's shitty, right? But you get what I mean, like, you know, it's so of course that I would want one day to have some under quotes co-founder, right, and stuff like that. So if you kind of find something interesting in Yale to do, and then that would be amazing, right? Exactly, Leo. So look, I'm not suggesting that. Look, again, as I always said, I would never ask someone explicitly for help because, of course, as I do this after work and my wife and kid, right, I'm not getting paid for this. So whenever people offer help, of course, I'm incredibly grateful, right? But it's just, the genius resubscribed. I love you, man. Thank you. So it's like, yeah, it's a little bit complicated, right? Because if I would give any of you access, that once you onboard, Okay, let me just rephrase this. There's a saying in the developer community that goes basically what one developer can do in 1 month, two developers will do in 2 months, right? So there's this misconception that amount of people always equates to more work done, which is not actually true, because once you onboard somebody, then you have to have a meeting with them, create a task, see what they did, review that code, then they do something, they don't finish it, and then you're waiting for like 2 weeks, and then you finish it. So it's a misconception that having more people always equates to more work. It doesn't, right? I know this project inside out. I wrote every single line of code, right? So it's fully mapped in my head, right? Yeah, exactly, right. And that's what I saw when these two people, they were amazing. It was Nora and Kirill. They're both brilliant, they're both super talented, so no complaints, nothing to say. It's just I get that maybe I failed to motivate them to contribute more. It could be also that I failed to give them tasks, right? But whatever the reasoning behind it was, fundamentally it didn't equate to anything that actually helped me, right? So it could be just as well that, okay, well, Alex, you could have done a better job motivating these people who wanted to help you for free. Absolutely true, right? And maybe with this limited time, because this whole platform is built inside of this stream, maybe I simply don't have the time for such a persona, right? So it seems to me that the co-founder of this project would have to be someone who is self-driven, self-motivated, and etc. You get what I mean? It's just that type of person. Because this whole thing is built with what I stream on average maybe 2.5 hours, maybe 7 to 10 hours a week, right? So imagine if I had to spend half of that time on meeting somebody, right? Yeah, exactly. So look, it's for sure a part of reasoning is that, right? I could have done a lot better job maybe. Hey, well, Alex, if you gave me more guidance, asked for more help, absolutely. There's no question about that I could have done that better. But it takes effort, right? It takes effort. That's okay. What did I want to do? Oh yeah, I was doing this mobile bar, right? Yep. Max, my friend, good evening. I'm doing very good, man. How are you? His beautiful face. Ah, what can I say? What a beautiful face it is. Indeed. Indeed. By the way, I left for my exchange months abroad. I've been in Barcelona since September. It'll be very nice for you. Well, I mean, I'm first of all, I'm very happy to see you, man. It's been so long. It's always kind of good to see these fellas. Like this stream. You know that I stream because I get to know a bunch of you people. I don't stream because I have any value from this thing, right? So it's always good to see you guys coming back, right? To some degree, we're friends, right? I mean, we spend so much time chatting to each other and stuff. So good to see that you've been actually on exchange. That must have been a great experience, man. That must have been a great experience. For me, standard stuff, man. Work, kid, wife, the stream. Pretty much sums it up. Yeah. Masa, good evening, buddy. How are you doing? How's life? Okay, yeah, now I see. Now I understand the problem. Yeah, now I understand the problem. Should we learn Rust to be a good programmer? If you don't learn Rust, are you even a programmer, right? Yeah, why is this? What the fuck? This makes no sense, man. Why is this use effect actually not working? It's so weird, man. What is the theme that you're using? I'm using a default theme. It's called Dark Modern. I mean, it's not default, but it comes with the VS Code. It's called Dark Modern. I mean, dude, like, there's nothing better in life than meeting other people, meeting other nationalities, meeting, as I quoted many times, Mark Twain said, there's no better cure against prejudice, racism, and all of these things than travel and meeting different people. So probably that's one of the things that I'm most happiest in my life by far, except having a wife and my kid that I love the most in this world. But besides that, the fact that I had the opportunity to work with hundreds of different nationalities and people all over the world from every continent, every country, there's nothing so beautiful, right? You become just such a you become so open-minded. You basically it's incredible. It's genuinely just it's incredible. So travel if you can. It's incredible, man. I found the bug when we change the UI settings, navigate to other route and back again to default settings. Did you save the settings? Did you save the settings? So let me try it out. So if I go to settings, UI settings, save, refresh. Did you click save? Because it seems fine. It works on my computer. Save. It works on my computer. No, dude, but don't say I'm sorry, because that's incredibly valuable feedback for me, because you're the user, right? So you're never wrong, right? Could I maybe have made that save button more apparent, right? Because probably you focus so much on this part that you missed that save and reset are shown. And also I can see that this thing, yeah. Let's just add that to the backlog, right? Is it apparent enough in the theme builder that the user has to click save? Yeah, we'll see. I'm writing it all down. We're gonna review it, right? We can't review it right on the spot, right? Because then we're gonna write, yeah. All right, what the hell have I been doing? Sorry, my mind shifted. Yeah, okay. So for some reason, right, we have this effect that actually doesn't run properly. So I can see that this mobile thing, if it's not mobile, or location pass name is login, or is authenticated, return, otherwise set mobile bar is shown true. Oh, actually, but we need to actually... Yeah, but actually I don't think that makes much sense, does it? Wait. Okay, so maybe that was the thing, right? No, it doesn't work. Shit, man, that sucks. What the fuck is going on, man? I think the problem is that we have to keep this somewhere in the navigation or something, right? Yeah, you can see. So what I'm dealing now with is, and why is it also transparent? It makes absolutely zero sense. Mobile bar, if it's shown... Oh, wait a minute. What is the fuck is this state, man? Why do we even have this state? That makes no sense. What? Oh, I see. Okay. All right, I see what's happening, probably, right? And thank you, everybody, for your follows and stuff. So when I... Wait a minute. So when I click on it... Yeah, okay. Give me 1 second. I mean, I think what we also have to do, we need to make this sign up a little bit more explicit, maybe some green color or something. But before we do that, give me a second. So is mobile bar shown? Well, actually, that makes no sense. We don't actually need this at all. I actually also don't need this X icon, right? So that's useless completely, right? So this should only be shown on some other. Well, actually, I see. Yeah, you're supposed to kind of be able to close it, right? So that's the thing. I see. I understand. Yeah. Okay, never mind. I see what this is supposed to do. But in that case, right, I need to style this a little bit differently, right? So I'll just do something like this. Just give me 1 second. I need to check one thing. How did I do that? If I go to button stories here. I see. Snail. Hey man, what's up? How you doing? Got a job working 24/7. Well, first of all, congrats, man. And second of all, make sure that you don't make your company get used to that, right? Don't forget, it can be a huge trap doing that, right? So make sure that you do that at home and that other people don't know, because everybody can get very easily used to you just being completely fine with working more than you should, right? So be careful about that, because nobody will care about that, right? So just keep that in mind very well. You love it now. I mean, you got a job and you're happy and it's all good, right? I get it. You're excited, and you should be excited. That's amazing. Keep being excited, but make sure that you don't shoot yourself in the foot, right? Because being excited is great until you're no longer excited, right? So that is the problem, right? No, please, absolutely keep loving it. Nobody neglects that. I'm with you. I love my job after 16, 17 years of work. I still adore it. Just keep in mind that nobody except you cares that you're working more. That's number one. And number two, make sure that when you no longer love it that much, that everybody else is not going to get used to you actually loving it too much. That's the point. So do it for yourself. Just understand that you're doing it for yourself. You're paid to do a certain job in certain amount of hours. So just keep in mind that that is what you're paid for, right? So should you do it, you should do it by your own discretion, of course. Just keep in mind that nobody cares except you. That's my point, right? All right, beautiful. Basically just fixing small things, fixing regressions, fixing mobile experience, etc., etc. Okay, so this is, yeah, okay. All right, awesome. That's amazing. All right, so going back to this thing, right? So we're gonna probably make that green to be a little bit more radical. And then there's something that gets fucked up once we actually get into this state. Let me see what is happening. Yeah, that actually doesn't work properly, right? Okay, let's take a look at that. So Louis GUI we've deployed, so we're gonna wait until that's an npm. So let's see, is mobile bar shown? Set is mobile bar shown. Obviously that's wrong. Yeah, so that effect basically doesn't work, right? So the question now is, should we just lift this somewhere up? But it cannot be more up than it already is, right? So that's kind of weird. Unless, wait, if it's not mobile, and how do I decipher this? How is this written? Use media query. All right, I see. It's not mobile location path name is authenticated. Oh, I see. Maybe also this effect we have to listen for, right? Yeah. Let's also do this. No, doesn't actually do anything. So weird, man. I do need an effect. I for sure need an effect. No question about that. But I don't know. So this base. So we can't use the location hook here. That's the problem, right? Because really, this is well, all three are necessary, right? But it's also true, right, that we will actually. So the only thing, wait, React router DOM route change. Yeah, but you can't use the location in the app. That's the problem, right? Wait a minute. Right, because we are in the actual root. Alrighty, so use location, exactly, right? So that's the problem. So we can't really use the location, right, in here. So yeah. Alrighty. So let's actually go back here. Let's see what's happening now. So what the fuck is happening? So you can see basically it doesn't. It's simply okay. Wait, let's print some of this crap, right? Let's see what is this. What this actually translates into, right? Yeah. So you can see there's actually we don't see the change, right? So that is the problem. Once we navigate there, I guess, right? So how do we actually shit? So where could we actually put this, right? So it's kind of global to everything else, right? So we need to put this most likely somewhere, right? Where, wait, give me a second. So where are we? Error boundary, browser router, blah, 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 is mobile. Because obviously this actually doesn't re-render, right? Is mobile location path name is authenticated. What are these bots, man, on YouTube? What are these retards? I don't get it. Like, how many idiots are we gonna get there, man? Jesus Christ. Fucking freaks, man. The internet is genuinely full of freaks. You are a bot. I don't. Maybe your face is a bot. Maybe you are not. I think we have some bad programmers on YouTube. I think they're mad because they cannot code. Yeah, fucking noobs. Use an href. Href, yeah. So why did you come here, Danny? If you don't like the stream, my friend, why are you here, man? Why are you wasting your time? What stupid questions are those, man? I don't get it. Why are you here, man? Don't you have something better to do with your life? I guess not, right? I don't know what you're talking about, man. I have no idea what you're talking about. All right, so will you fuck off right now, or should I ban you? I mean, you have two choices. Well, you have one choice, basically. Because I'm not angry at all, man. I think you are angry. I mean, you see what you're writing. Why would I be angry? You're just wasting my time, man. I'm wasting words on you, man. Danny, you can choke on my balls, man. All right, so I mean, no, but seriously, technically we could use an href, right? Actually, so this was not a terrible idea. We could basically use an href, right? I think we could do something like this, right? Wait a minute. This would for sure, right? Yeah, exactly, right? That's gonna trigger a re-render. Yep, exactly, right? Yep. Except, yeah. Okay, so yeah, I get it. So let's actually do this. Danny, you can. I told you what you can do. Now the question is just, do you want to do it, man? I think Danny is just mad because he sucks. And he came to my stream to complain like a little bitch. He's probably like 12 and he still lives with his parents. Oh, Alex, you can't even code. Little bitch, Danny. You're just a little bitch, Danny. You're my bitch, Danny. Danny, you're my bitch. Danny, you are just a little bitch and you know it. You are just a little bitch and you know it. And you're just mad because of it. Because you're one little sad bitch who's coming to random streams to complain. Alright, so actually that's good, I guess. Yeah. And I guess we probably need this in here, right? Danny, don't be mad because you're bad. Don't be mad because you're bad, Danny. Danny's just a little sad because he's bad. Bad Danny. I guess this has to be a block, right? Danny is bad. Doesn't everybody in chat agree that Danny is really bad? I think everybody agrees, right? Danny, you're definitely hitting the nerve. I'm completely dying right now. I'm so now nervous. Definitely, 100%, 100%, Danny. You're killing me, man. You're killing me. Stop it. I cannot take it anymore, for sure. All right, actually, that's good. Okay, so that's great. Danny, I told you that you can choke on my balls, and you're still here. You're still here, man. You're still talking to yourself, dude. He's losing his time because he's sad. He's never really built anything. Danny, send us something that you've built. Send us something that you built. Share it. Share your skills, man. Show us what you have built, man. Share a project that we can see. I know that you cannot share it because you never built anything in your life. Did you? Probably didn't, right? Yeah, send us that project that you built. I know that Danny will not be able to do it because he never built anything, right? So Danny, send us one. Yes, send it to us. Link it, yes. Link your compiler. Of course I want you to link it. Link it right now. Let's see it. Show us your skills, Danny. Danny is now going to disappear. So Danny is now going to vanish. This is the time when Danny leaves, because he's never actually built anything in his life, right? He's now going to just slowly vanish. Okay, why is this crap still... Of course he's gone. He's never built anything. Danny's just a little sad boy. Share it, Danny. Share the code, man. Share that majestic code with us. We don't see any links, Danny. We don't see any links, Danny, from you. I don't see it. I don't see the link. I don't see the link, Danny. Yeah, he is most likely living with his parents, and he's just a little sad tiny boy who never built anything. Danny's just sad that he kind of wants to be a programmer, but he's actually never built anything. And Danny then is sad, and then he kind of goes from stream to stream, right? And he complains. He's kind of a little sad boy. I also want to build software, but I don't know how. All right, anyway, so this now works, so that's great. Danny, you suck, man. You suck. Alright, Danny. So you fucking suck, man. Nobody cares where you work, because we know that you don't work anywhere. Roberto, my friend, good evening. So Danny, you're just a little sad boy. I'm super angry, Danny. Like, I'm definitely angry, yeah. For sure, definitely. I think the whole chat is very pissed, Danny, because of you. I think the whole chat is like now shaking in Danny is just a sad little boy. Oh, what happened here? Ah, shit. Danny, I'm not gonna search for anything, man. You suck. You never built anything. And you know it. You know that you never built anything. You're just lying. So Danny, you suck. Bump versions. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so let's bump this fella. And then let's push this bad. No, shit. Danny, you suck, man. And I don't want to talk to you anymore. Because you haven't linked us anything. So you suck, man. You never built anything, right? So stop talking. Nobody cares about you, Danny. We all saw through you. You're 14 years old who never built anything. Now leave. Now leave. What do I want to do? Yeah, okay. Danny, you suck, man. Leave now. I don't want to talk to you. Wait, somebody asked a question. If you ever had issues that you couldn't resolve on your own with the help of searching online, what did you do? If you ever had an issue you couldn't resolve on your own with the help of searching online, what did you do? Well, can you be a little bit more specific? What is the actual issue? If you can like give us a little bit of an example, then maybe we can respond. Danny, nobody cares, man. Why don't you leave, bro? You see that nobody here cares what you're saying, man. Seriously, man. Are you like, are you mentally crippled, disabled, or are you just that young, man? Nobody cares, bro. Just leave. You can see that people are laughing at you, man. Leave. Nobody cares about you, man. Yeah, but leave. Okay. Well, there's clearly people who care, man. There's like 40, 50 people who care. All right, I will learn a new language. Now, just leave now, okay? I don't want to ban you because, I mean, yeah, just leave, bro. Seriously, it's enough. We had some fun and you trolled and it's fine. We got it. Now just leave, man. Just leave, dude. 100%, man, we all agree with you. I agree with you. So what else do you want me to tell you? What else do you want me to tell you, dude? I agree with you 100%. Now just leave, bro. It's fine. We had enough of you, man. Like seriously, we had enough of you. Just leave, right? So just leave, dude. We got it. We got your point. We got your point, and now you can leave. Absolutely. Whatever you say, I agree with you, man. Just leave now. We had enough of you, man. You're kind of ruining fun for other people, man. That's it's enough. So just leave. All right. So basically, so we're gonna publish this crap now. Yep. There we go. Let's see. Yeah. Alrighty. 86, right? What was it? I'm using JS vanilla. I have this message. Cannot read properties of null reading value. I'm trying to use function to get value from input text field when I get the press, but I cannot find a way to initialize the variable so it isn't null before the page loads and you can't get value or something that wasn't initialized the first time you requested it. Okay, wait, let me just copy your question. Okay, let's take a look at that. I'm using JS vanilla and I have this message. Cannot read properties of null reading value. I'm trying to use function to get a value from the input text field, but I press button. Value of something that wasn't initialized the first time you returned the value. All right, so let's take a look at that. Let's take let's take a look at that. So let's go to JS bin, right? So this is what you have, right? You have some button, right? You have some input, I suppose, right? Like this, right? And you want to get a value. So you have something like this, right? So you have something like this. When I click this button, you want to get a value from this, right? I see. Okay. Well, this is not a concurrency issue, right? Okay, it's not a loading issue, so it's not a concurrency issue. So this thing is parsed from top to bottom, right? So when the web page loads, this is basically an interpreter, not a compiler. So when this interpreter interprets this page, right, it's gonna load all of this stuff. So there's nothing really asynchronous here, right? As long as your script, right. I mean, I'm sure that your script is running after, right? So we can actually even write JavaScript here, right? So here, first thing you would do, you would say const button, right? Is you would usually use this syntax button, right? Like this, you would put this jQuery type of syntax, right? And you would say document.query selector, and you would say button, right? So we have to make sure that we got a reference to this thing, right? And we did. As you can see, here is the some button object, right? And then, right? So now you want to say dot add, for example, right? Dot add event listener, right? Click, right? And then you want to run some functions. So you can basically write this function here. You can say function, I don't know, handle button click, whatever. And this is what you want to execute, right? So let's see if that actually works, right? Test, click me, right? And then at this point, right, you want to, let's just ban these read. I think this is the same retard on YouTube, right? Let's just keep banning him until he's gone. Yeah. Neo, good evening, buddy. How are you doing? Okay, so, right, so we have a test here. Now you want to get the value, right? So you want to say, I also need to get a reference to the input. So you want to say input is document dot query selector, right? And say input. You can also say input, right? And then type text, right? Something like this. And then let's print that as well, right? You want to print this as well. So we can see the input, and then you can say, I guess, let's see, what was it? Input dot, was it target or the value? What was it actually? No, I guess just value, right? Input dot value. And it's empty now, right? So you can see now, if I do this, here's the value. Here is the value, right? And that's it. That's really all you have to do, right? When I have React budget, is the script running after the app is rendered or so? But well, React is a little bit different, right? The React is going to render the app inside of that app div that you have, right? So it has no correlation to this, right? In the context of this, when your React is initialized, it's going to render that tree, right, inside. It's dynamically going to render things. So this is a little bit different, right? Because here I have right, so, and I can actually share this with you, right? My pleasure, man, my pleasure. Why don't you write this in? Shut up, Storm. No, he's not. Storm is just trolling. Okay, great. Okay, let's go back. Okay, so did we manage to deploy this now? Did it fail now? Okay, it didn't fail. Okay, great. 86. No, there's no dumb questions, man. There's no dumb questions. It's absolutely not. Absolutely not. Vax, good evening, buddy. How is life? Exactly. Pretty much, yes. Wait a minute. Yeah, okay, so that's good. I mean, the thing is, of course, like whenever you have a problem, right, in a larger project, it's always good to isolate yourself to a different context. So for example, if you're writing front-end stuff or API stuff or whatever, you can go to things like Code Sandbox or JSBin. So let's imagine that you're writing some function, right? You can always isolate yourself to an environment like this, and that's where Storybook, so if you're writing like front-end stuff, that's where Storybook is great, right? It's because you fundamentally can solve on individual components or functions without needing to be in the context of everything else, right? So whenever you're learning something new, right, you can always come here, right, and just do an example here, right, or use Code Sandbox, Tag Blitz, or whatever. Yeah, exactly. Alrighty, so this is great now. So let's take a look at this. All right, yeah. So I think what I'm actually gonna do here, I'm gonna try at least. Let's, what is it called? Button green, I guess. I think we should be able to do that, right? Are we still running this crap? But, oh, shit. Yeah, exactly. Fuck, is it disgusting? Yeah, I mean, it's pretty disgusting, but yeah, that's how it is. Right? Is it too radical? I think it's, yeah, and why does it become outlined when I click it? It's so weird. Is it because of the click? Yeah, exactly. So when I click on it, I guess, yeah, I can see that. But I guess that's not going to be an issue in mobile, right? Okay. PM dev, let's say. So it's Vite basically. So I'm using Vite, right? Right? So basically, there we go. So your probably question was, what is the build process for this, right? And this is kind of, actually they released a new version, I think recently, right? What didn't they release? I actually checked it on, what is it called? JS Weekly, right? So I think I saw it here, Vite, yeah, there it is, right? Not just V5, but 5.1 is out. I actually think we should probably upgrade to this. Let's see what they changed. Support of HM during it, yes, so we don't give a shit about this. It's decoupled from the server, so there's no limit on how many clients. Doesn't depend on any node bundle APIs. Features improved support for CSS URL, improved CSS value, how it works. Build assets and now supports a callback, improved data. So a lot of server-side rendering stuff, right? Vita keeps getting faster with each release. Vita is packed with performance improvements. We measured the loading times, time stage 125. Using the Yeah, this is great. Okay, let's actually see, right? Where is Vita for us? Vita. What the fuck? Why we're not using 5? Wait, what is the Vita GitHub? Give me a second. So weird, man. 5, but wow. Jesus Christ. That is let's try, right? I mean, who the hell knows? We were like 17 million versions behind, right? Wow, that is actually fast. Jesus Christ, 260 milliseconds. Does it actually still build? Yeah, it still builds. Okay, that's yeah, that's good. Wow, and we spent so much time, you know, installing it. Change logs. So no, we were in version 4, but man, I swear to God, like maybe a month or two in a stream, didn't I like show version 5, right? Yeah, exactly. No, but we literally looked at this few streams ago, right? I don't know why we didn't, and I mean, we should probably start using bun as well in the API. I actually tried that, right? But I don't think it worked. Let me actually try again, right? Let me try to go to, let's go to our API, right? Let's go to our server, right? And let's actually, like, what if we, give me a second. What is it? Where is it? Where is it? give me a second. Bun. I think I have bun installed, right? Let's see what version. Yeah, it's 1.24. Okay, so what if we say bun main.js? Can we even run my API in it? Perf hooks monitor event loop delay is not implemented. Yeah, so this is the problem. And when the hell will they actually implement these APIs, right? Let's try to install. Yeah, let's try to update it, right? How do we actually update it? Yeah, 26. All right. No, man, that fucking sucks, dude. Like, we couldn't really switch to bun since it was released, right? No, it's upgraded already. It's 26 now. Pando, you can find my LinkedIn somewhere in Twitch descriptions. But I work as a tech lead, yes, for 15 years almost. Perf hooks monitor is not implemented in bun. What is it? Bun.js. So I don't actually know if we will ever be able to. I mean, based on the experience so far, I mean, I've been waiting for these APIs to be implemented, right? For such a long time, and it just doesn't seem. And I think this is probably triggered by prom client. Yeah. So basically, if we remove the prom client, then we're gonna lose Prometheus, right? Then we're gonna lose Prometheus. What is it called, right? Then we can't actually use Grafana and Prometheus and stuff. So it seems that a lot of stuff. Wait, prom client bun.js. Let's see. There has to be most likely, like, I'm sure that there's a lot of discussion about that bun. Okay, so there is shit. So there is an alternative to this, right? So somebody, it seems that somebody actually, what is this crap? Simon prom client. What? Bun. November 25th, bun installed Simon prom client. I mean, should we try this? Let's fucking try it. I mean, what can we lose? Because I think that's the only thing that we are. Oh, no. Okay, never mind. Wait, what did we do now? Wait, let me just take a look at that. Package JSON. Yeah, but I'm not using prom client directly, right? I'm using some Prometheus thing most likely, right? Hello, how do you handle caching user data after login? I mean, that depends. I'm not caching data that I don't have to cache, right? Caching is hard. We only use caching basically for notifications, right? Because it would be expensive otherwise. Other than that, I don't cache anything because there's no point, right? If you go to Programmer Network, right? You know, it's incredibly fast, right? So I'm not gonna cache things just for the sake of caching, right? But how would I handle it? It's you don't just cache everything, right? So it depends what it is that you want to cache, right? Depends where the bottleneck is, right? Because caching is hard. It's one of the hardest thing in programming is naming things and caching things, right? So Caching is hard because you need to invalidate the cache. You need, for example, let me give you an example where caching is very important. So, for example, let's say that you have a Node.js application that's running in a clustering mode or some sort of a clustering mode. Let's say in your Kubernetes, right? So let me show you, for example, where you would want, for example, Redis or something like that. Let's imagine that you have your Node 1. Imagine you're running Node.js and you run it across multiple processes. You run it in some sort of a clustering mode, right? Something like this, right? So you have Node 2 and Node 3, right? And let's imagine that you have to cache something, right? Something important. I don't know, let's say something account related. In this case, because in your Kubernetes would spawn different pods, right? And Node.js is single-threaded, right? So, and the memory is not shared. You would need some sort of Redis or something here. So you have a centralized memcache right here. So you can't really use a in-memory like a regular memory from your node process, because every time when when Kubernetes spawns another pod, it would use its own memory, right? So in this context, no matter what, if you're running your Node.js in a clustering mode, and if you're caching anything, you need Redis. But if you're running only a single instance of Node, right? So you have a single instance like this, just one node process, then basically you would use some, memcache, whatever. And then what you would cache, well, that depends where the bottleneck is, right? You would optimize things. You would not just cache things for the sake of caching, right? You would have to have some sort of strategy of what it is that you want to do, right? How does your login system work? I built the system very simply, just using JSON Web Tokens and secure cookies, and not much to say. I mean, if you want, I can demonstrate it, right, very quickly. But authentication fundamentally is a very simple process, right? But I can demonstrate it, right? You have a user, and that user enters either, so we have different types. We have, if it's username and password, right? Because we support all types, right? So let's imagine it's username, password, right? So this is universal and it's agnostic of the language, technology, whatever. You have a username, password, what happens? Well, first thing is like, does the username exist? Yes, no. If no, show error. Okay, it does exist. Hash the password, then compare it to the hash stored in a database. Do hashes match? Yes. All right. Well, user now is basically logged in. What does that logged in means? Well, that depends on the strategy that you're using for logging. Since we're using JSON Web Tokens, at this point, what we're gonna do, we're gonna sign a JSON Web Token, JWT. And what does it mean, sign a token? It means take some data and then smack it in that JSON, in that tokens. Take data like user ID, username, whatever. It's basically a stateless authentication. And then what we're gonna do, we're gonna respond back to a user's browser, and we're gonna say, hey browser, take this token and store it inside of some storage. Local storage, web storage, cookies, IndexedDB. There are many options. Now, which option should you choose? Well, you should mostly choose cookies and HTTP only cookies, right? Why? Well, because of security, right? HTTP only cookies cannot be accessed by JavaScript. So basically, by using an HTTP only cookie, you are certain that you're safe from specific security attacks, etc., etc., etc. Right? So this is a JSON Web Token. You can do session authentication as well. So instead of doing this, You could use session authentication, which I wouldn't recommend, but you could also do that, right? So depends, right? And then there's various other things in here, right? Then you would need to, so if you want to implement, you know, if you want to implement authentication with, you know, like OAuth, so you're talking about OAuth, right? This is then slightly different, right? Because then depending on the provider, so you're saying, hey, I want to implement, so you want to implement OAuth, let's say Google, that's slightly different, right? What happens here, your Google now is your intermediary server that validates you, then responds. So basically, so this OpenID is something different. You don't want an OpenID. OpenID is, no, definitely not. No, this is what you want. So you're gonna hit your own API. Your API hits, let's say, some Google server. Let's call it Google server for the sake of simplicity. Hey Google, is this user, in simple words, valid? It is. Then you get some sort of a token back from Google. Then you generate a JSON web token here, and then you again, so this part basically is the same. This part more or less is the same, almost the same. So you're gonna, either way, in most cases, you're gonna generate a JSON web token. The only difference is that in one scenario, your API, for example, with username and password, your API checks some password and then says, okay, you are who you say you are, let me give you a token. So the only difference between these two is that in this case, it's no longer your API essentially deciding if a user is valid. Your API is going to talk to some external server, third-party server. Third-party server is going to tell you, hey, this actually is the user who, right? And then your API is still going to generate a JVT and then return that JVT back to the user, right? So, well, every time you generate a JSON web token, right, that token then is sent from your front-end to your API with every sequential request, right? So that's why when you set it in the cookies, every time your front-end is sending requests to your API, basically it's sending this key. It's like, hey, I always have a key to tell to my API who I am, because every time, every single request that comes to your API goes through some function, some middleware function, where your middleware is validating the request. So every time, you know, somewhere in your API, right here, you're gonna have some middleware, which is just a function that has access to request and response objects. And before, you know, you give access to any resource, or for example, before you say, hey, you can actually query this database, you're checking, you know, some JSON web token library is checking, hey, is this JVT valid according to the JVT secret, according to the expiration time of the JVT, to say, did the JVT expire, etc., 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 right? So that's basically how it works. No, look, so I think we're, so Nick, that's not the point. I'm saying you will not be implementing OpenID. You will not be implementing these things. That's I guess what I'm trying to say. You're not going to be creating your own OpenID server. Exactly. So that's why I say you're not going to be implementing really anything. The only thing you're going to be implementing, you're going to have some URL, something like, you know, something like auth dot, I don't know, provider dot some domain, right? And you're going to be calling that. So I guess my point was just to kind of isolate you from these side effects of the system. You don't really care how they really implement this. The only thing that you care is that you're going to call some application that you created. That application is going to say, hey, yeah, you are who you are. And then your API is still going to do everything else. Still going to generate a token with some permissions, whatever. These details are on you, right? Yeah, for sure, Nikki. Of course you do. Security-wise, absolutely, yes. Well, you can, I mean, you can do, look, JSON Web Token is just an object, right? So if you go to jvt.io, right, JSON Web Token is nothing but a simple object. If you come here to jvt.io, right, this is JSON Web Token, this is encoded part, and this is the decoded part, right? So what you're going to store in your token is really fundamentally up to you, right? Are you going to store the name, user ID? You're obviously not going to store a password in there, right? Are you going to store the role in there? Absolutely. Like if you had some access control list, ACL, implemented in your application, you could basically have a role here as well that says, viewer, for example, right? Something like that. So could you do that? Of course you could, right? Plan, what's my plan? User is in a business plan, right? And of course now you of course have to worry a little bit about, right? You have to be a little bit, this is basically similar to caching, right? Every time you sign this token, you're gonna re-sign this token either when the token is refreshed, meaning when you log in again, right? So you have to be careful about what you sign in here and what you use, because this is not the data that this changes basically after this token is going to be updated after the user logs in again, for example, right? Abdul Dev, I will, man. I will. I know that I said that already, but I just haven't had the time. I'll record a couple of more videos this week, I promise. Look, you don't want to store let me just be clear about the passwords. Your password should never ever be stored anywhere else except in your database, right? So just so I can be very explicit about, there's never a use case in programming anywhere in any product ever where your password is used anywhere except in your database, right? So if you're storing password anywhere except your database, you're doing something terribly wrong, right? So just keep that in mind. So this doesn't apply to JSON Web Tokens, it applies to anything else. Your password should never be anywhere, right? Fastify is amazing. I love Fastify a lot. Yeah, our whole API is built with Fastify. It doesn't matter the shape of the password. You should not be storing your password anywhere, ever, in any shape or form, other than in your database, right? Because there's no point, there's no reason why you would ever want to do that, right? It just doesn't, right? You don't expose such data ever to anybody, right? That data only ever resides in a database, and even in a database, even that we are trying to avoid by using specialized external services like auth0.com and stuff, because even storing them in a database is prone. A database can be hacked, right? So even in a database, we are often like, should we use an external secured service for authentication? Because we know that yeah. When it comes to Fastify, it's yeah, I mean, I can show you things, but you would kind of have to be more specific, right? I can show you basically the structure of my Fastify stuff. It's a very basic MVC type of structure, right? And Fastify fundamentally is very simple, which means it's very good because it's very simple, because simple things are good things, right? So this is how a single Fastify route looks like, similar to Express, similar to Golang. You have some string that you're gonna call some endpoint, right? You have some hooks, you can see. So this is my Fastify hook, Fastify decorator, right? So if I go to decorators, you can see that in Express.js, this would be equivalent to a middleware function, right? So I have a bunch of different decorators. So for example, here I say is authenticated. So this decorator I can then use on my controller, say, well, verify the JSON Web Tokens, check the blacklisted tokens in Redis, and if any of this fails, well, then you're not authenticated, right? One downside of JSON Web Tokens is that they're valid until their expiration time ends. So if you want to invalidate a JSON Web Token, so the only benefit of session-based authentication is that session, you can just remove a key from a session and it's invalidated. JSON Web Tokens are always valid until they expire, which means that if you want to invalidate them, you have to blacklist them in a database or whatever. So that's one of unfortunate thing about JSON Web Tokens, is that you can't, there's no way to invalidate a token. Like say, oh, this token is no longer valid. So you always, if you want to have such functionality, you have to do something like blacklisting, as I do here, right? So there are certain scenarios in Programming Network when your JSON Web Token is no longer valid, then I have to blacklist it instead. Well, I'm not doing that manually, Zaire. I'm not doing that manually. I mean, that's responsibility of the library, right? So if we take a look at this decorator, right? If we take a look at this is authenticated, we have this verified JVT, right? And this JVT verify comes from this Fastify's Fastify JVT, right? So if you really want to deep dive into how that's happening, of course we could take a look at that, right? So you would basically, so this is the JSON Web Token library that I'm using with Fastify. So how that happens, right? Well, we could basically take a look at the tests, right? So verify, register, decode, complete true. Let's see if there's something more low level, right? So I cannot answer that question with any reasonable response because I don't know the underlying details of how encoding and decoding is done, because it doesn't really matter, right? This implements the most definitely it implements the necessary algorithms that are specified here under JVT, right? So this is one of the algorithms. So this is how, so you can see that the JSON Web Token is encoded, and then we can see the algorithms which are used. So how do we verify it? How do we verify basically a JSON Web Token? Well, we have several of these hashing algorithms. This one, we base64 URL encode the header, base64 encode the payload, and then this is the secret that you keep, basically secret somewhere in your this is you inject this from your environmental variable or something, right? So this is fundamentally, I'm very sure, what all of these libraries implement, right? So I guess I would say this is basically what happens, right? This is what happens underneath whenever a token is verified, essentially, right? It's verified like this, right? So, you know, your cookies are going to have something like JSON Web JVT ID, whatever, or bearer token, right? You're going to have like in your cookies or whatever, you're going to have like bearer, right? And then you're going to be like this. Well, I think this is so, Nick. I think it's very related to decoding, because that's when the object gets kind of serialized on your request object. So I think it's very related. I fully get it, right? So when this thing happens, right? When this verified JVT happens, essentially, right? The user object is then a part of the request object, right? That's what the actual decorator does, right? So. Right, so basically it goes like this, right? Just to demonstrate it visually, I think it's easier, right? So this is the browser. Browser sends the request, right, to your API, and here is some bearer, and then, you know, the long encoded token, like this, right? So this is what browser sends, right, as part of the cookie or whatever, right? This crap, right? And then in the API, in my case, in my specific case, right, my API has some middleware, some function that validates this. Is like, okay, give me that token, decode it, add that object now to the request as, you know, request.user. And now in any subsequential function so now we have passed the point of that, we have passed the point of that specific middleware function, or that function that has access to request and response. Now in every other function, in every other function, I have request that user available to use. So here I'm gonna have username or whatever request dot whatever you have serialized, right? So whatever you sign into the token, you're gonna have on request.user. Of course, you can call this request.banana if you want. You can choose how you want to call this, right? But fundamentally, whatever you sign when you call jvt.sign, here you choose, okay, when user signs up, what it is that I want. I want an ID, I want a username. I definitely don't want any secure related stuff, right? You get it. And then when this decoding happens, you basically have request.user on your request object, right? So this user is then put in there, right? And this basically happens, right? Well, you can decode that in your front end as well. Yeah. You can decode that in the front end as well. I don't do that. I don't do that, Zaire, because you can't, you essentially don't do it like this, right? Because you can't, I can't access this token in my JavaScript because it's an HTTP only cookie, right? So you basically have to implement /me or some endpoint where you can get the user. Because if I wanted to do what you're suggesting, right? So for example, with libraries like Auth0.com, right? They provide an API as part of their SDK library, right? Where you can just say whatever, Auth0 client.getUser, right? Well, you would do it like this. Like I can show you in Programmer Network. You would basically just implement something like /me, right? This is how I have it. This is really it. You can actually see if you go to programmer.network, right? If I refresh the page, you can see that if I refresh here, I'm going to say /me, right? So it's literally just yet another controller where you get your own data for yourself. You are the logged in user, right? You can see, of course, you have to ensure that there's no sensitive data in here, right? Now you can say, well, Alex, actually, you know what, man? That kind of doesn't make complete sense because didn't you say, right, that you know, JVTs are stateless, right? So why do I need to, you know, I have this token stored in my browser, right? I mean, if I go, you know, if I go to cookies, right? I have this crap in here, right? So why do I have to, because you can see technically, right? You can still access this in your UI. Like you can see that even, you can see that you can access, you see, I just pasted my own token. Here's my username, Alexander, right? Well, that is one kind of side effect of HTTP only cookies. I could use this in my front end. I could decode it in the front end for free if I wasn't using HTTP only cookies. But if I wasn't using HTTP only cookies, I would introduce another security vulnerability. So for example, if I store this in local storage, then any script can read my local storage. So if a user is stupid enough to click on some URL that somebody else sends them, inject some stuff, gets their token, now that user, man in the middle to say, can log in, right? Yeah, I'm doing /me every time, yes. So it's a trade-off, right? You have a trade-off. You have, in one way, you can say, I don't want to call /me every time, right, when I need this data. But on the other side, you have to say, well, I don't want to expose this token to attacks, right? Because I don't want to store this in local storage because somebody can relatively easily hijack that, right? So for me personally, I made that specific trade-off, right? For me, it's way more important that things are secure than doing an arbitrary call, which is so cheap that you shouldn't even think about it. And even if it's a problem, you can cache this data, right? So for example, technically what I could do now, right, for this /me, I could use my Redis client, and I could, for example, cache my personal data for 5 minutes or approximately 2 minutes or for the duration of an average user session on Programmer Network, right? So if I really cared about, oh man, I don't want to do... No, not really. This is only called once. Not really, Zaire. I mean, when you come to Programmer Network, you're going to call /me once, and it's not going to be called again, because your personal data is stored in a global state, right? I'm using Redux, but that doesn't really matter, right? But generally, this is called only once. So when you go to programmer.network, I'm going to load it now, and I'm not going to call it again, right? Because I don't need it anymore. It's in the global state, so I already have the data, right? So that's basically how it works, right? So of course, again, this is not to say that... And please, you don't have to look into Redux. Redux is just what I used here, right? You can store the user in your most global state, right? You can store it in the app. You can use a context API, right? You can how you're gonna do it is you actually, if this is the only thing you need, as I always say, people ask me, do I need Redux? If you're asking that question, you don't need any state machine. So I would definitely not introduce some dependency like Redux because you want that. You can just use React context, right? And create a context somewhere in your app, right? I don't know why is this. Where is the new documentation? Is this? Yeah. So this is the only thing you need, right? You don't need Redux even remotely, right? All right, cool. My pleasure, man. My pleasure. All right, awesome. I hope that was helpful. Any tips for testing larger? I don't think that there's. I'm always very reluctant to use these words, large projects. There's no such thing as a large or a small project, nor it kind of relates much to this, right? Testing anything, it doesn't differentiate with a smaller or larger, right? It all depends on how the code is written, basically. Is the code written in a way where it invites you to test it? Or the code, so basically if you fuck up on the basic principles of writing code, then testing that code is going to be incredibly difficult, right? So if you are writing your functions like, if this is your function 1, fn1, and that function does 15 different things, right? This function is going to be very difficult to test, right? Because it does everything. If you write this function instead into 10 different functions, for example, then testing is going to be easier, right? Integration, yeah, I mean, doing proper end-to-end stuff is very hard, man. And usually for that, you almost need a dedicated QA team, right? End-to-end tests are amazing. I really wish that I have the time to do it for Programmer Network, right? I mean, this is a side project I basically built on the stream, right? End-to-end tests are awesome, right? That is complicated, right? It's complicated. It's also depending to what degree you want to implement them, right? Because there's so many of these awesome automation frameworks that sometimes take 2 weeks, you know, to 2 weeks. Everything is awesome about it. So, for example, when people come here, they're like, "Hey, is registering with the username and password working?" Right? People wouldn't fall into a problem asking that question if I had end-to-end tests, right? Because I could always know with end-to-end tests that stuff like that breaks, right? Right now, I have no fucking clue, right? Because for me to know that that stuff is broken, I literally need to go and sign up. Oh, actually, I can't sign up, right? So end-to-end tests are super powerful when implemented properly, But I mean, any tests are amazing. You should write any sorts of tests you can, any tests that you can, in fact, just manage to make work, right? But to work. But end-to-end tests, especially in the front end and stuff, very complicated, right? Because you need to set up, you need to also decorate under quotes your HTML with specific things like roles and IDs and stuff, because those automation frameworks like Selenium and etc., right, they need a way to click on something to get something, right? So that's why I say you really need to make sure that your code is capable of being, you know, end-to-end tested, right? And that requires a little bit of work, but it's awesome. To be very frank with you, only once in my career, 7 or 8 years ago when I worked at Airtame, we had this guy Nikita. He used to run a QA team, and he was basically, his job was, he was a QA. He was just basically doing these things. But I remember even for him, he took him a very long time to first understand the product and then implement these things, right? I mean, usually you would have a test database, right? So in your environmental variables, right? So if you're talking, I think you're talking about I think you're talking about database. So basically, what you would do, right? You would have in your envs, you would have like ports, I don't know, X, your database name, I don't know, E to E, you know, I don't know, test DB, whatever. You get the point, right? But for sure, you want to do it properly, right? You definitely want to test this for real. So no mocking. That's the whole point of end to end, is that you don't mock, right? It's for sure very costly. Look, everything is relative, right? End-to-end tests are, once you implement the framework, once it all works, then like unfortunately with everything else, it becomes a piece of process. So you implement something new. Now even the developers can write these tests, because tests are not a problem. Writing these tests isn't hard, but getting to the point where you can actually do these things is hard, because you have to set up the whole framework. Somebody has to do it, right? So Andy, good evening, friend. Exactly, Lib. Exactly. It's that is the hardest part, right? If you manage to get there, exactly. It's like with any types of tests. It's the same with unit tests, right? If I go now to any of these open source libraries I wrote recently for this project, right? If I go to like this Louis GUI now, right? Like when I run this and I see shit tons of these green things now, right? It's so easy now for me to just keep on building this. Like, oh, 114 tests passing. It's so natural to just go and write more. But when you have to set that crap up, you're like, oh man, now I have to interrupt my work. So you really need your organization to set up some dedicated time to somebody to actually do this, right? Like, you know, probably it's going to take 2 weeks approximately for one person to actually implement this. Yeah, absolutely, Leo, 100%. What the fuck is this music, man? Jesus Christ. Oh shit, man, this is not localhost. Fuck's sake, man. Jesus Christ, are you kidding me, man? Careful what you wish, you may regret it. Careful what you wish, just might get it. I'll crush you down, I'll break your crown. Thank God there's no one around. Just one thing, just to play the king. Where's your crown, King Nothing? I see. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Alright, that's not too disgusting. Okay, give me a second. Let me find a song. Oh shit, man. Let's go. Deal. Deal. Interesting. The fuck is happening, man? Alright. Okay, this plain name is there, yeah, and then we have this crap over here, right? So why are these in line? Wait, I guess there's a flex item here, right? Yeah, that's weird. Ah, I see. Shit. Okay, it's this one. Okay, flex, yeah. So justify center. Alright, cool. I like that. Alright, cool. I like that. I like that. Sultan of Swing, okay. Only for Leo. Only for Leo. There you go, buddy. There you go, buddy. My pleasure, man. What the fuck? Wow, really? What? Where do I have text? Was that like an accident? All right, so I'm not changing the right thing. All right, I see. I thought I was. Okay. No, I'm not. Okay, cool. Well, let's see where this is. Where is this thing? Okay, so it's this thing. All right, I see. Okay. So let's make this h2. Yeah, that's better. That's better. Okay. UI settings. Why is this not rendered here though? That's a little bit weird. Where is the never mind. We didn't finish that. Okay. All good, all good. Bookmarks. You don't have any bookmarks yet. Meetups. Yeah. George knows all the chords. Yeah. George knows all the chords. George is great. Ah, shit. I see what's happening. Okay. Yeah. All right, cool. All right, so actually I see what's happening, right? So it seems that basically H3 on Mo is, but that kind of fucking sucks ass because now I think if I go over here, for instance, or somewhere, yeah, actually no, that's fine, that's okay. All right, that is okay. Yeah, okay. So the only thing now, the only thing that I noticed that we didn't do is how did I implement this? So tabs, tab URL, UI settings, yes. So why on mobile is this not rendered? Give me a second. 200%, 125. I go to settings, go to UI settings. So why is this? What am I missing? Find index name, tab, value, UI settings, dashboard UI settings. Yes, that's correct. Is there some different state for mobile? I don't think so. I don't think that there is, unless there's like hidden or something. Is there like a no? No. So this is if it's not. Oh wow. Okay. Why not on mobile? Okay. Okay. No. I see. So, but why did I disable this on mobile? Let me check. Maybe I had a reason. Can you not do this on mobile? Yeah, you should be able to do it on mobile. I see. So it seems that. I see. Okay. So it seems that the sizing of this is problematic on mobile. I guess we never made this mobile friendly. The theme thing, right? Yeah. Okay. We'll see about that, right? I think Yeah, so I think we're gonna leave this because we can't really do that now. Wait, UI settings. Oh, Jimi Hendrix, man. Jesus Christ. Sell a prophet to the thief. There's too much confusion. I can't get them. What the fuck? Ah, never mind. Yeah, I don't like this, but that's what it is, right? Yeah, and then we have these basic. I think somebody reported this at one point. Yeah, we need like break words and stuff in a lot of these places, right? Shit. Okay, well, anyway, let's just push a bunch of this crap. We have a lot of stuff that we didn't push. All right, cool. All right, that's great. All right. Well, good luck. Good luck creating a message for this. Update dependencies and fix UI layout. Wow. Okay. If that's it, then great. Let's do it. Okay. Let's push that. Let's open up the. No. I can't open that on the stream. This one. What should we play? What should we play? Let's play. Let's play the best song. The best song. Brother in Arms. This is the best song from Dire Straits. No, actually, it's too sad. It's too sad, kind of, for the stream, right? Let's play. Let's play. What the fuck? All right, give me a second. I'm just gonna open up Programmer Network on mobile. Okay. Hmm. Give me 1 second. Okay, cool. Let's see, profile. Yeah, that looks great. Oh shit. Yeah, that looks really bad. Okay. Okay, that's, yeah, kind of works. All right, profile. Yeah, that sucks. Okay. So there are a few more things to fix. All right, we'll see. Oh, okay. Well, how long am I streaming? Where can I see that? Can somebody tell me? Let's maybe round it up, but let's see if there's anybody who has any questions that I can answer. Oh shit, 3.5 hours. Let's check out some questions, fellas. Anything that I can answer or respond or help anybody. Let me actually drag this fella over here. Anything that I can help with. I'm hungry. Same, man. Same. I'm gonna eat something right after this. But let's see if there's anybody who's hungry of questions. Same. But of course, it's way more important to look at me, right, than eat. I get that, right? My pleasure, man. Thank you for being here as well. I'm just gonna check one thing. We have 101 subscribers. We have more subscribers than some people who have because that guy gave us like 50 or something, if you remember, a few days ago. That's funny. Fight me, exactly. So many trolls. I guess that was a single troll on YouTube today. I don't know what's up with streaming on YouTube. It feels a little bit weird. It feels that where did Sergio get the gun? I don't know, man. Yeah, for sure. Hosting it will be paid through Twitch this time. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Definitely it will. Well, I guess there isn't any questions. So I guess we can all go and just have some food, right? I think that sounds like a great idea. Yeah. Alrighty, fellas. Hit me some jokes. Yeah, I don't know any jokes, honestly. Well, alright, guys. As always, it's been super fun. Thank you for staying here, obviously, with me. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. I will stream tomorrow. So if you have the time, pass by. And yeah, please, if you haven't already, sign up on Programmer Network and keep an eye. That's pretty much all for today. Yeah. Awesome, fellas. Thank you very much again. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out. All the best. Bye-bye.